Hey, welcome to Peace Within the Journey of Forgiveness. I have my girl Tara in the building.
Hey. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so glad that you accept this invitation. Tara's my cousin.
Hey, fam.
I get to dig the brain. So, Tara,
Yes.
tell us, who is Tara?
Who is Tara? So I'm a daughter. I'm a wife. I'm a mom of two. I'm an 18-year and 21-year-old. I'm an employee. I've worked in science for over 20 years. I'm a person that loves nature. I love sunflowers. I love the color purple, and I love my family.
Okay, so give us insight on why you chose this color. Not the color, the flower, the sunflower.
So sunflowers, I like sunflowers since I was little, right? So they big and they yellow, right? And they just remind me of sunshine and sunlight. Even on the darkest days, the sunflower just lightens up the room and brightens up the skies, right? So sunflowers just reminds me that, nature will restore light and beauty. So I love them.
That's good. That's good because that's a technique in therapy too. Allowing what's around you to brighten your day.
Yes.
So I can see you now driving and you see a sunflower. Slow down, cause you about to.
Yes.
You gotta go.
Yes, I've been to the sunflower mazes. I've been picking sunflowers. I buy folks sunflowers to put on their desk so they can think of me. I buy sunflowers for my own house so that I can feel, the brightness and the sunshine, and just remember to smile.
And that's good.
Yeah.
That's good self-care too, because you put it around your house and you can direct yourself to that and bring you a better.
Brings my energy up.
That's what's up.
Brings my energy up. I need nature to manage my energy. I need sunshine. I need bright skies.
I feel you.
I need that. So.
I feel you. I do music.
Okay.
Because I like to dance and be silly. I be in there thinking I'm not a ballet. But in my spirit, I can ballet and tap and shake it. I even twerk a little bit. I tell people, I don't know, maybe some other Christians in there. I twerk a little bit off my gospel music. I don't care. It's just me and God.
That's
so
right.
I be like, I'm your dancer today.
Listen, he takes us as we are. Right?
I be like, I'm your dancer. I don't be having to Megan Thee Stallion these, but I do a little extra. Be like, I'm different. Like, that was my favorite part, Lord. But that brings me into a better place. Brings my, like you said, your energy up, brings my spirit up, and just make me, rejoice and not forget about whatever that came up in that moment. Absolutely. That is beautiful. I love. Actually, it's funny because I do think of you. And this is a real truth. Yeah, this is real truth. Like when I see a sunflower, I do think I'm like, oh, Tara. I'm like trying to send something to you or maybe take a picture and send it to you. But I do think about, and that's good because like when you build friendships, relationships, you also want to know what makes their day. Yeah. And it's not even if they could be in a bad mood. It's like, oh, I'm gonna send this to them, and they're like, oh, you was thinking about me. Yes, I was thinking about you.
Yes. Whenever I get a picture of a sunflower, somebody tells me they've seen sunflowers, or even just a flower, a pretty flower. I always feel like, wow, somebody's connected with me. Somebody thought about me.
Yes.
Thought about me in a positive light.
That's good.
To share a flower with me, so I love it.
That's good. I love it. That's good.
Now, don't ask me, do I have flowers?
I would want one either.
I have to buy them every, so
day, 3 days.
Yeah,
somebody try to give me plants, and I ask them politely. I say, hey, I don't have a green thumb, and this is making me sad because I'm not doing so well in this department, so can you please stop giving me this? Listen. Oh, no, you just got to do this. No, I did everything you asked me to do. It's not working out, so let's not help me try to grow my green thumb because it's not working. Let's do something else.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I tried to plant some sunflowers and do some things, and I just don't have the consistency that it takes. So I had to forgive myself for not taking care of the sunflowers the way that I know that they should have been taken care of.
You their mama, you supposed to nurture. Little black. You their mama, you supposed to nurture them.
Yeah, they didn't do so well. I'm gonna adopt them moving forward. I just keep adopting them.
Basically,
maybe I'll go to the
or get a plastic one.
It don't get the same effect. I do have some artificial ones in my living room. And they do, because they go with the decor, it does
Okay.
make me smile, but yeah.
Do they have like a special smell to them? Like the real ones?
They do. They have a very soft, floral smell.
Okay.
Very soft.
Well, you have to take me to the sunflower.
I will, because there are a lot of variations of sunflowers too. It's not just the big yellow one that we see. Yeah, the faces of them are different. The black part, the faces of them are different. They are, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So next summer we'll have a date.
Yeah, you gotta take me. I just thought, I didn't. Oh, wow. I'm shocked. I learned something today. Well, we learned something today.
That's right. Sunflowers have different faces.
Wow.
So pay attention the next time you go.
That's good, because we all have different faces as well.
How about that?
Wow.
And they're all unique.
For real. Wow, that's, we all have different faces and different moods we in. I want to do sunflowers getting different, do they get in moods? I
think so, because there were ones, when I went to the garden, there were red ones, and there were purple ones, and there were the traditional yellow ones. And right, some of them had big faces, some of them had small faces, like the seeded part. So they probably do have different emotions based on, how they're grown and where they're grown, how much sunlight they receive. How much nurturing? I mean, right? How much people talk to them probably and show them care, show them grace.
That is so interesting. Yeah. So they like little human beings, but not the fleshly part, the organs, and because that's interesting.
Nature, right? It's nature, right? It takes all of this.
Yeah, to make them grow healthy, and that's what we need. People around us to help us make us grow healthy. Even our parents supposed to help us make us grow healthy. That's so interesting. Girl, revelation.
Yes, indeed. Pour water into the sunflowers and pour it into yourself.
Yeah, and talk to your sunflower. That means talk to yourself.
Exactly.
Good amorate. Good, yeah.
Yeah, right? Because you're always going to say something positive, right? Or you might spill your guts, but at the end of the day, you feel better.
Yeah, it's good to vent. I call it purge. I'm like, God, I got purged today. I be going off. I was like, let me get it out because I don't want it to manifest and to change my heart. Wow, okay, so you got me getting into sunflowers. Wow, that's interesting. So let me ask you, please, give me some. I'll be, right? Because I'm not even into nature. That's not my thing.
What?
No, I'm not. I'm really not into nature. No, I can see like, oh, that's pretty, and then keep moving like, oh, that's cute.
Oh no,
you
don't get one with nature. You gotta get back to being childlike, right?
Yeah, but
like
I'm
going
childlike
outside and playing. You know what I mean? Like next time I go to a park and just sit on the playground.
I used to like lightning bugs when I was young in the country. Okay.
Right, or the little wildflowers that we used to blow.
Yeah.
Right. The little wildflowers. Right, that we used to blow. You know what I mean?
Remember that. Oh,
or just go outside and dance in the rain for a minute.
I was just thinking about the rain yesterday. I was like, oh, I love the rain.
I mean,
with the hot rain.
Do you remember something we did? We were outside in the rain.
When?
When we were down in Southwest doing the scavenger hunt years ago. It started raining on us.
Oh, Tiana's.
We were outside in the rain having a good time. Running around.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
Oh, yeah, she been married for a
But it was a good time though.
Yeah.
It was outside and we were
and not allow the rain to, mess up the scavenger hunt. We still, try to win that part. Try to win, okay.
But it was a good time.
Yeah, it was.
Just being outside. Just a reminder of just how free and fun just being outside is.
Yeah, I like that.
Using our imagination.
Yeah, we need to get back. I think as you get older, you, I guess, dismiss it or?
I think life tells us we're too busy, we're too grown.
Okay.
That's childlike, it's childish, it's immature, you know what I mean? But think about how happy children are. Yeah. Because they play. Yeah. Right? And they see life through a discovery phase, and we forget that. I think when we get older, we forget to discover.
Yeah, I know, I get it, because when you said them words, something triggered me, because I remember this dude, he was like, you too hyper. And I was just like, I'm in a good mood. But in my mind, I was like, I can't even, that's why I love the journey of forgiveness, because I don't allow someone else's words to affect me anymore, because I was in a good place. I was happy. I was out. I was like, let me enjoy this day, this night or this date or whatever. I'm just trying to, and he's like, you got too much energy or whatever. But my mind was like, well, sir, I really care less, because, I'm not that interested in it. I was trying to be open. But thank you for giving me the red flags and the revelation that I knew that she wasn't the one that I really want to deal with. But you know how you try to be open when you're dating, you try to be open.
Okay.
Yeah, I try to be open, like, oh, maybe, you never know. Let me get past this, the exterior, and get into the interior. But the exterior and the interior was not for me. So thank you, and I didn't get bitter about it or whatever.
Right.
But I still have this energy, like, you get excited. Yeah. You want to express your excitement to a person if you feel like that's the one.
Yeah.
So to show me, like, I couldn't be myself, like, kid, like just hyper, like, oh, the music is good. Because it was, matter of fact, it was music. They was playing music. That's my energy.
So
that gets me high. Yeah. So I remember that. Yeah, I was like, oh, the music good. And I'm just talking, and he just like looking at me. But I'm still just talking. Sometimes like, maybe he tired, he say he came for work, so that is so funny. But let me ask you this. So what's your definition of forgiveness?
So I think forgiveness starts with self.
Okay.
Right. And I think if I had to define forgiveness, I definitely don't see it as a negative.
Okay.
I see forgiveness as something being very positive. But I feel like it's something very personal and internal, right? It's, you can forgive someone for stepping on your shoe and you think it's about them, you think it's about not punching them in the face because you got brand new tennis shoes on and they done scuffed them up. But more so what it's really about is just not letting that bother you, right?
Basically.
Like not letting that get to you, no matter what is going on in your day, just being like, you know what, I ain't worried about that.
Yeah.
Just go on about your business. It's cool, we good, no problem.
That's true.
So when I think about forgiveness, I really just think about it as being a very personal journey. And I think about it being almost indifferent of the person or the situation that you feel like you're forgiving.
Yeah.
It's really about self. And I do see where it just makes you feel better.
It does.
It really does change your energy. It allows me to release. Right? If I can forgive you, then I don't have to worry about you.
Basically.
Right? I don't have to worry about you. I don't have to worry about what you got going on. I don't have to worry about what just happened and what just occurred. I can let all of that go and I can move forward.
That's good.
So it's a journey though.
It is a journey.
Right. And it happens with every moment.
Yeah.
In every situation.
Yeah.
But
right about that.
I try to remember that forgiveness really is about making sure that I stay mentally healthy.
Yeah.
And I stay in a good place.
And a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. You want a healthy lifestyle, forgiveness is part of that lifestyle.
I agree.
With my journey, I had to go all the way back. Especially like being a woman now, but my little girl is affecting my womanhood. So only, something you get older and you wonder why. But God brought it back to my remembrance because I was in, I think it was elementary school. Because Union Station was popping back in the day. So I think it had to be an elementary or junior high school. And when you live in the city, you close to Union Station. So I remember this guy, little boy, whatever, he was little kids. And he like, oh, meet me at Union Station. I'm like, oh, okay. Meet him at Union Station. And I remember, that big, I guess, what is it called? The hallway or
like the rotunda or something.
And they coming, so they coming out and I'm walking in, ready to meet them. But this dude has other little boys with them. And basically it was like, you like her? She ugly. Broke me down. Don't remember the boy's name because elementary, I'm grown now. But I had to go back and say, you know what? I forgive them and I forgive that situation because obviously something was going on. And I was about to say something. I was like, maybe I was a little ugly girl back then.
You just had comments.
But I know.
Some of us have comments.
I thought about the little ugly back then. I was like, well, maybe I was a little ugly girl back then. But I'm not that person no more. And I had to heal that little girl to let her know, like, you're not that person no more. Like, I always try to make things light.
Right.
But you know, it wasn't like when I was going through it. You know, I had to go through my healing process, and I tell them like, no, you wasn't that, you know, that little girl no more. And at the end of the day, you're not everybody's cup of tea. You get what I'm saying? And we have to teach young kids, like, even if someone use those words towards you, understand those their words, those their opinions. You're maybe not that cup of tea, and I wish I had someone to sit down and talk to about. You know what I'm saying? But because I didn't have no one to sit down and express to them what I experienced, so they can soothe things over, so they carry into my adulthood. You get what I'm saying? I would have been better. You know, what kind of experience you had when you was young, like teenage or elementary or middle school, where you was like, you know what? I thought about it in my adult years. Let me go ahead and handle this business to get better.
So, let me just say, growing up, so I'm a dark-skinned African-American woman.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Any dark-skinned African-American woman knows exactly what this conversation may be headed, potentially. Colorism is real in the African-American community, right? Being, you know, at the age of 11, being 5'11", wearing a size 10 shoe, being, you know, 100 pounds soaking wet, and a dark-skinned young lady was not necessarily the most popular look to have.
Back then, yeah.
Right. So I dealt with a lot of just, you know, people, even when people would try to be polite and say, oh, you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl. Oh, wow. So what that means is most dark-skinned girls are not pretty, right? That's what you hear, right? I don't want to be pretty for a dark-skinned girl. I just want to be pretty, right? I just want to be a pretty girl, pretty woman. And so I didn't hear a lot of positive, you know, oh, you're pretty, oh, you're beautiful, oh, you're cute, any of those kinds of things. And so, you know, you grow up kind of wondering, like, you know, why am I so different from, you know, light-skinned Keisha right next to me, you know, or Carmella, you know, sitting right, you know, sitting across from me or whatever kind of thing, but I'm dark-skinned Debbie, you know, so it's a little different. But as I got older, you know, and I just had to learn to love myself. You know, I really had to just, and I started to seek out dark-skinned women, tall women that I thought were pretty. And I looked at them, and I looked at how they carried themselves. And what I noticed was that dark-skinned women hold their head high. Wow. That was what I noticed, that they would hold their head high. And so I learned to roll my shoulders back and hold my head high. And that's just that.
Amen. That's what's up.
And that's just that. Wow. So that's how I dealt with it. But it took a lot of years, and there are still days where I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, you know, my skin complexion. Because I look on social media and nobody's my complexion. You know.
But you know what I see most? Like, I'm like, oh, they pretty, but I see the uniqueness in people. That's why I be like, wow. Like, I love, I don't know what is it called, so I don't want to make a mistake, but I love the women who has different, it could be light and brown, or like real, is it real? You know what
I understand. I don't know the appropriate term, but I know what you're describing.
So beautiful.
Yes.
And I seen one lady, a model, I was like, what? Skin out of this world.
I know exactly who you're speaking of. I can't think of her name.
What in the beautiful? So that's what I look at, something unique. Like, dang, what's your skincare regimen? It's like, you know,
but society, you know, but the images that we see when we're looking at a high fashion magazine, or you know, we're looking at Victoria's Secret model, does not necessarily depict an average woman.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially not an average black woman.
Pretty much.
To some degree, right? So there weren't a lot of images that I grew up with that I was able to see when it came to TV or magazines or even videos once videos became popular.
Oh yeah.
Right. So again, I had to look for women in my community who were black women, who were tall, who were darker skinned, and just watch their mannerisms, watch how they carry themselves.
That's good. Do you remember any?
I do. So there was
Okay.
this lady, Tony Johnson. I
Okay.
remember her. I never hey Tony. But I remember it was her, and I believe she had either 2 or 3 daughters.
Okay.
They all stood at least 6'3".
Ooh, wow.
Very tall women. But every time I saw this woman, her hair was laid, her jewelry was popping,
Wow.
her outfit was crisp to the T, her heels were high
Wow.
to make her even taller.
Oh, man.
Her nails would be done, her makeup was flawless, but she was nice. She was beautiful, her daughters were beautiful, but she was nice. She always spoke, always had a kind word to say.
Wow.
Always told me I look pretty.
Wow, that's beautiful, yes.
So seeing her walking around and watching her and her daughters, because she was a friend of my mom's, then I was just like, okay, I'm cool. That's like cool. I'm gonna grow up and I'm gonna look like that. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna grow up and I'm gonna look like that. Like, you know, I'm gonna dress well and I'm gonna, you know, all of that, and I'm gonna hold my head high and I'm gonna walk through. And I used to watch how people will see her
and be amazing
when she walk in a room.
Wow.
Her and her daughters, like they would just see her, and I'm like, yeah. When I walk around, people gonna stop. They gonna see me. They gonna see me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. You found someone who can help you in that moment what you was dealing with. Wow. Did you ever discuss this with any of your friends?
So I've had conversations over the years with friends. Friends on all sides of it, right? Lighter skinned friends. Okay. I had a conversation with them just about different things because I didn't realize that lighter skinned people face colorism issues as well. Very light, fair, you know, for some people that I talk to. And then of course, so I think when dark skinned women get together and if there's a conversation about beauty, we end up having a very similar conversation around, you know, growing up, being dark skinned and imagery and how the world sees you or doesn't see you at times. So I've had this conversation several times throughout my years. But what I will say is that most of us are on the other side of it as adult women, right? Okay. We are all holding our heads high. We're all feeling very confident and very good about ourselves. That's good. And we're stronger women because of the experience. You know, it builds resilience, right? It builds resilience. And there's an aspect of forgiveness in that because you have to let go of whatever negative talk you either heard or you perceived, right, was coming in your way, in your direction. You know, I used to wonder why people would stare at me, right? Because I'm like, it's got to be because I'm unattractive. Wow. But now it's like, well, where's she looking? Right? Because I got my heels on and I'm walking tall and my head is straight. You know what I mean? But, you know, it does kind of play with you for a while, you know. But I had to even forgive myself for even being worried about that. That's right? True. Like, why am I even worried about stuff I can't control? I can't control what anybody thinks about anything that I'm doing, saying, anything.
Sometimes they projecting too.
Or I might be imagining, right?
I'm not sure.
Who knows? Who cares at this point?
Right. For me, because in my mind, I was like, I'm so glad I'm blind to that. Because I don't want to talk to her. She's dark. Yeah, I'm not like that. It's like, who are you inside? That's what I'm so worried about. Exactly. Like, I don't care now. If you ugly inside, then peace out. I don't want to talk to you. But I was like, oh, no. Because I have an old friend, and she dealt with colorism because she was real light. And I was like, for real? She was like, yeah, people don't really want to hang with me like, you think you like that because you light skin. I was like, wow.
That's what somebody light skin told me too when I had that conversation. They said the same thing. Yeah, which kind of opened my eyes because, I mean, I used to look at light skin chicks and
wow. And this was my BL. This was my BL. I was like, girl, I ain't paying attention. Because we knew when in high school, I didn't pay attention. Like, I didn't pay attention.
That's that caramel Carmela.
For real, that's why you ain't gotta pay attention. No, I'm
in the middle, so you didn't have to pay attention. You weren't too far to the light.
I like me some chocolate mint. I like some chocolate. I like some chocolate mint. You know, but no, because when I was in high school, I would hang out with everybody, like the Gothic people, the Hispanics. Like I didn't like categorize anybody. You know what I'm saying? The Caribbean people. I was open. Like I was just.
Your high school was that diverse?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was weird. It was weird because I came from an urban school. I came from DC. Yeah. Then they put me in a Maryland school. And I was like, what in the world is this going on? Because I just came from just hanging around with all black people, African American. Then I come to this, so I guess that's probably why I gravitated to everybody. Because I was like, what is this going on? Like I want to.
All this is
I'm who you? Like I want. Why you wearing all this black stuff and looking like a Dracula or something? Like I was. Like, but I never let it like push me away. Like, oh, you so weird or nothing. I was just like, no, I need to get to know this person. Like, what's going on? Nice people, nicest people will help me with my homework. Like, Portia, come let me help you. You know, the girl helped me pass Spanish. I was like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, it's people need to stop. And I was about to ask you, do you think it comes from slavery? Do it come from way back in our our grandmamas and pop-ups and generations?
So if you ask me, almost everything that is indicative of African American black culture, American black culture, has direct ties and linkages back to slavery. Right? Because our history was taken from us and we were not allowed to keep it. Right? Whereas some other cultures were at least allowed to maintain some aspects of their culture, their religion or something. Right? Everything was stripped from black folk. So I do think to some degree, and then we were separated and divided immediately.
From
ourselves, right? We were immediately picked out based on color, based on maybe region you came from, based on what your physical features were.
Strengths. Weaknesses.
Yeah, you know, so we were immediately categorized and labeled and identified and assigned certain ways. And so I think that has been inbred in our culture.
Yeah.
Whether we outwardly acknowledge it or not, right? Like I think it's just something that is inbred in us. So yeah, so I think to see difference, to identify difference in each other, and then measure ourselves against each other, I think it's just part of the culture that was created for us, not necessarily the culture that we created for ourselves.
That's good, because I have to forgive. You know about poetry? I have to. That journey of forgiveness is real because I have to forgive because I'm up against a lot of people. Because I work in the community, and it, you know, that triggered. I didn't tell you, so it really triggered me when I hate to say the current experience, but I'm just gonna say the current experience. And it was so funny. He was like, "Portia, I'm so proud of you." I was shocked at the same time, and then my mind is clicking because it's like, do I hit her? How do I do? You know?
Yeah.
So I just went into a victim mode myself and started screaming, "I don't know you, lady! I don't know you!
Get away from
me! Get away! I don't know you! I know you!" But I found out that it triggered me because I started experiencing more. I'm like, God, why am I experiencing this? And I was like, help me to forgive in this situation because the lack of knowledge they have, the lack of, you know, they had their own way of growing up, how they grew up. So, and I hate to say the entitlement, but how they was raised and how we was raised. You know, we wasn't raised on to dignify somebody by their color, you know, disrespect them because of my color, I might be beneath them. You get what I'm saying? Because that's how you be feeling. Like, you think I'm beneath you because I'm African American? You might want to ask who you know. You might want to ask about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. So, and I pray on that because that can make me now go against anybody I see that's in a, you know, that's a different color than a different race than I am. Because I live in an area that's like predominantly white. And I was shocked because I even asked, I was like, dang, is this how black men feel? I was in the UPS store and I messed, ding, ding, ding. I messed up what I was doing at the self-checkout. So I had to go to the checkout. I was like, oh, Lord, what am I doing? Let me just go ahead and go to this checkout. So the Caucasian lady looked at me. You know, I looked at her. So I'm like, okay, let me go. You know, I'm not the type of person that'll stand, you know, some people stand right all up on you. So maybe she was right here. I was like, oh, okay, well, let me like stand right here. And so she looked at me as I'm walking. You know, she stood in front of her purse. So the cashier guy looks up and looked at me. I looked at him. I think we had a black moment. We had a conversation. We had a conversation with our eyes. He looked at me. I'm looking at him. I'm moving my hand like he looking. He like trying and looking and look. I just said Jesus in the middle of the store because I was shocked. And then I was like, dang, this never happened to me. Now I'm like, okay, now I gotta go through this cleansing because I don't want it to affect me because I know I'm encounter more stuff and I'm like, you know, if you don't cleanse, and forgiveness is a cleanse. If you don't cleanse, you gonna pop off. You gonna pop. Yeah. You gonna be like, you know, and I don't want and I don't want that. Have you experienced? Because you in a career where you know you dealing with different scenarios. How do you deal with it?
The challenge is real. The challenge is real. So as far as my career, right? I think there is some benefit to being young. It being somewhat delusional, maybe, to kind of what some of the realities are around you.
Okay.
In some instances. So like for instance, you know, I first started at my organization and I kept hearing, oh, I got children older than you. You know, I have children older than you, kind of thing. And, you know, it didn't bother me. You know, I'm like, oh, okay. In my mind, I'm like, oh, you got kids older than me. You know, I'm like, oh, okay. You know, I'm working with people my mama age or older, okay. You know, and then there would just be like little things. You know, I wrote in purple ink in my notebook and people were like, oh, you know, you think people are going to take you serious? Because, you know, and I'd be like, oh, really? You know, so a lot of things that people did and said to kind of make me have doubt, self-doubt, or kind of second guess whether or not I belonged in that. You know, because I'm young, you know, oh, you're so young. You know, oh, you're writing purple, you know, is that an immaturity
what
thing?
What age you started this job?
I started at 20.
Okay.
I started at 20.
Can you tell your age now? Just so they know how long just okay.
I've been in this organization for 20 years.
There you go.
It's all good. So, you know, so over that time, I've seen a lot and I've experienced a lot.
Okay.
I'll tell you one blatant situation. So I was going through a day and there was a series of meetings and I kept seeing the same person in the meeting, the first meeting and the second meeting. So by the time we got to the third meeting, this person, a white male, older, looked me dead in my eyes in front of about 15 other people and said to me, why are you here? You've been in the last 2 meetings I've been in. Why are you here? Why do I keep seeing you? And mind you, it was only myself with my dark skin and my locks and another young man who was on my team who was Ethiopian.
Okay.
And has great big hair. We're the only people that you question.
Curly hair.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
We're the only 2 people that you questioned why were we in attendance.
The third meeting.
In the third meeting. Why were we in attendance? So I politely looked at my coworker and I said, no, we're not in attendance. And we left. And I went to my boss and I was like, hey, listen. I was like, we're not welcome in the third meeting because we were asked why we were there. I was like, so maybe you need to explain to them why we were there, but I'm going to go back to my desk and do some work. And that was that. A few weeks later, this gentleman, you know, pulled me to the side in the quiet. Nobody's paying attention. Nobody's looking and apologized.
I said, you did it. So, I said, no. Hold up, time out. Everybody, stop what y'all doing. I think he want to apologize. And since he did it in front of everybody in the third meeting.
That's
Why
how
don't
it
you
happens.
do it?
That's how it happens. Me, I was like, you know what? I was like, thank you. And that was it. And that was it. And to this day, I still work with this person. And we professionally stay away from each other.
Yeah, I see why you have a lot of sunflowers.
It takes a lot of sunflowers. I mean, and so here's the thing, right? You know, in some of these spaces, it's not blatant.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's not something, you know, it's not someone calling you the N-word, right? It's not someone saying, you know, racial slurs to you, but it's someone making comments, you know, we're a minority team and, you know, people are saying you have the worst job ever. But we're actually the brain behind what is going on. You know what I mean? You know, and it's just like, you know, it's little things, you know, people, oh, you're going to the meeting like that. Oh, that's your presentation. You know, and it's just little things, you know, a little self-doubt. And so you just have to have the self-confidence, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to have those tools. I have my sunflowers.
Yeah.
You know, I look out the window and go outside and sit by the pond when, you know, I start getting irritated. And then sometimes you just have to say what you have to say.
Okay.
You know, there have been times where you just have to just call it what it is, you know.
What they say, call a spade a spade.
Call a spade a spade. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to, you know, and that has happened. You know, I've been in spaces where people have said things and I'm like, hey, I am a black woman. So are we gonna clean that up or are we gonna keep running with that scenario? Wow. You know, it happens, you know, so.
And it's crazy because, you know, as African American women and men, we have different faces in different places.
Yeah.
And spaces, but they only have one face.
And it must be nice, right?
Yeah.
It must be nice.
Like we have to alter.
Yeah.
It's
But here's the thing, though.
It's life. It's just life.
So I kind of want to touch on that, right? Because you know, we talk about altering in different spaces and places, right? And I've had this conversation with people about whether or not that is authentic.
Okay.
Right. And so I say it is authentic, right? Because what I know is that if I go have a conversation with the people who write my check, the same way I have a conversation with you, I probably won't get the same check.
That's true.
And that is the reality of the world that we live in, right? Yeah. So they want the education that I have. So that's what I give them, right? It's not that it's inauthentic. It's still me, right? I still went to school. I still learned. I still did the training. I still did all of that. I just don't say, hey, what's popping in them? Yeah. I just say good morning. Good morning. You know what I mean?
How you doing, Simon?
You know, and that's just that. You know what I mean? So I just think, but it's interesting because, you know, right, we don't necessarily get to come in as relaxed as our energy may be, right? I try to have a very relaxed energy. While I like to walk with my head held high, my shoulders rolled back, right? I still like to be very relaxed. I still like to throw out cliches and make, you know what I'm saying, random comments and, you know, crack a smile and a joke and different things. But I had to learn that in some spaces that's just not rewarded. Yeah. Right. And so I give you what you pay for. That's true. But you're going to give me what I require as well. Amen. And we're going to go do this by the law and legally. You know what I'm saying? So
that's why they got an HR
policy. All that. And listen to me carefully. Those employee handbooks that everybody gets, you better read it. You better read it. Because listen, in there, in writing, is what they can and can't do and what they can and can't say. Yeah. And when folks start saying stuff and doing things that book say that they ain't supposed to be doing, I politely put it in writing. Can you explain to me why this says this, but y'all are doing that?
That's good.
And then you just wait for a response.
Yeah.
You know, see what happens. So
that's good.
But yeah, I think unfortunately, I think in some spaces, not all, but I think in some spaces we do have to be mindful. Yeah. Even though they don't have to. But that's their privilege. That's just, that's their privilege that you spoke about. Yeah, it's crazy because
I'm still working on it. It's a journey. No, I'm still working on it. But I try not to be around. So I have a family, they Caucasian. You know, so how we met was I was working at a nonprofit and their son used to go there and I was his aide.
Okay.
So the key word, I was his aide. Okay. So now I don't work there no more. So now I'm part of the family. So when I hang out with them, I'm the only African American person that's there. And one of his mother's friends came to the event. So I guess she feel like she wanted to take it upon herself and introduce me to her kids. She said, "Oh, this is Portia. I'm not gonna say his name, but this is Portia. She used to be blank blank's nanny." God is good. I so love God. I'm glad that He changed my life. I'm so glad that He took old Portia and put her in the fire and covered me with the blood of Jesus. So when I heard that, I looked and I immediately went outside. And I've been in outside. I can't remember if I called somebody. Oh, I was just out here going off by myself in the low voice.
Nature.
Yeah, okay. I didn't even look at it like that. I just knew I was in their driveway. And I just was like, did she know this derogatory? First of all, I ain't never been nobody nanny. How you take someone aide? Because aide and nanny has a totally different position and criteria for the job. Yeah.
They wanted to think you would help.
So I still work on that. So now I went over there for Thanksgiving. So they wasn't there. One of them came. And I was telling the daughter's friend, I said, and she didn't know that. I was like, they just not aware. So we was outside playing, and I started dancing in front of the person I used to work with. You know, he's in a wheelchair. He's physically disabled. So he likes when you dance. So they was playing music. So I wasn't dancing like this, but I was dancing. So the lady was like, "Oh my God, Portia, you got rhythm." So I love this scripture and say, "Pray without ceasing." Yeah, I always go inside and start praying. I was like, "God, hold my tongue," because I really want to go off on this lady. Yeah, so it's just like dealing with that is just like, how do I tell them? Like, I'm just gonna say your friend's not aware of what they say to me and it's very offensive, but I don't think they're aware, so I can't even express it to them or communicate it to them. So it's just like, God, help me not. I always say, God, help my heart not to get black. So, because I have to still show them love if they ever come around them. I'm in the same space. And it's just so overwhelming because you want to say, hold up, everybody sit down. Let me enlighten you right now. And in a minute, I don't even care if you like me or not no more. But this is what we not going to do. Because I got a master's and I got a bachelor's. And I'm this person, I'm that person. But I never was a nanny, ma'am. I was an aide. And even if I was a nanny, that was a nanny back then. So recognize me of who I am now. Not who I am, because who I am back then, I'm still not his aide anymore. So recognize me as, oh, this is Portia. This is their friend. This is their little, you can say their adopted daughter. I will be okay with that. Say this is Portia's, I'm about to say his name. Excuse me. This is such and such friend. Because who are you? You their friend, right? So why you keep label me as this person that used to be an aide, but not an aide no more. You call it a nanny. But you know how long ago that was? 10 years. That's 10 years. That's how now, matter of fact, maybe, 13. I'm going to tell my age. About 13 years. I know that's true. Yeah, my bad.
Okay.
But yeah, that long. Yeah. And you still labeling that? So I just be like, you know what, God, I'm going to just say, right, dealing with that, I'm not mature enough right now to deal with that. I'm going to just say it like that so people can understand where I'm coming from. because I want to say other words, and it's not going to be polite. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, help me just to love them how they are, and maybe you'll give me the opportunity to make them aware. Because I'm going to just give them, they ignorant. I'm going to just give them that. I'm sorry. I'm just going to give them that. They ignorant and they need to be educated. And I'm not the one to educate them right now because I know I'm going to come out of emotions. And that's why I always talk about the journey of forgiveness, because this is a journey. This is not like I woke up, oh, I'm this person, oh, I can just forgive you. No, I'm in my feelings right now because you trying to take me 200, 300 years ago? Like, no, sweetie pie.
Right.
Recognize me as a human being. Don't recognize me as, even if I was.
Even as an occupation.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, you did not recognize me as someone that saw that I did a good job and this individual loved me so much that they want to befriend me outside of the workplace.
Yep. You're right. It is a journey. And don't get me wrong, don't let me tell my stories about work and different things as if things don't happen every day all day.
Yeah, but that's the same. That's a connection we got as well too. Like, that was an everyday thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's even drive. And I'm about to tell all you girls. When I get in the car, return, I go and immediately pray because Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Jesus, we gotta get where we're going safely.
If she could turn her vehicle into an invisible vehicle, she gonna go straight through everybody. I'd be like, Lord, please help her, Jesus. Let us get to our place safely. So let me ask you that, because you're gonna work on that. Like, who taught you to drive in that manner? Because that's learned behavior.
I learned how to drive in a go-kart.
Jesus. For real.
So there it is, right? On the go-kart track, you hit the go button and you swerve in and out around the track trying to win.
For real.
Yes. My father took us to the go-kart track.
To teach you how to drive?
Yes. Yeah. My father's a mechanic, right? So cars were always everywhere. So cars was his thing. Wow. So like since I was 8, 10, we was at the go-kart track. Almost like every other weekend. Driving. Speeding. Speeding around the track. Wow. So that's how that's where I learned how to drive. I never even thought about that though.
You're not slam on the brakes though. I'm like, dang, you was good.
Yeah,
like, we ain't know why I'm in there. Wow, but that's also learn patience, when I'm driving as well. Because I get annoyed, but I also, people don't understand, like, stress. That's what comes from. You got to be careful when you drive because we're not knowledgeable, but you can intake stress.
Yes.
Stress. You see how a lot of people are having these heart attacks and strokes behind the wheel. It's a lot. And this stress is something on the road that triggered that heart attack and that stroke because it was already about to happen. It's just elevated. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I know for me in my journey. So I don't, and that's where the road rage too come from. Like, people be so quick. No, you don't have road rage, but I'm just using your driving. Like, they get mad because you going in and out like a go-kart. They get mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm using you as they might get mad at you because you trying to get where you gotta go. You trying to win a prize. But they not looking at it like that. You looking at it, this is how I learned how to drive. But they looking like, how she just gonna cut me off and I'm going, for me.
I need forgiveness, right? That's what I need them to forgive me.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, when I see people like you, I'm a driver that I look in all lanes. I'm like, oh, here come one coming. Let me go ahead and jump in this I can let them go. Yeah, even when they on my bump, I'm like, I'm thinking I'm doing 80. No, they want me to go so they can do 120. You hear me? I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me get out their way. And I've learned that so I don't be like, and I've seen it too, how people will, instead of getting out their way, they'll slow on the, take their feet off the gas and slow down. Like, let's use common sense. This is where the fruits of the spirit come in, being patient, being loving. Maybe they really have an emergency because we're not in their vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember you had an emergency one time and it scared me, and I started praying. I was just like, yo, slow down. I understand you got to get there, but slow down, because guess what? The person driving in front of you don't even know you seriously got an emergency, and they need to like detour out your way, because this emergency is a 911 times 911. And people and I'm talking about this because people don't think like this. You know what I'm saying? They just like they no, we don't know what's going in their car. Some people foolish driving, but sometimes we gotta just think out the box. If you're not in a rush and you feel like they're in a rush, it don't take but 2 seconds to find a car not in your lane, jump over in that lane, allow that person to go back and get into that lane. And that's why I wanted to touch. I was just making it funny, but I really want to touch on that because that's why it's a lot of people shooting at people's cars and doing stuff, but then you shooting at a car, not even knowing there's a baby in the car. Like, let's be real. Let's stop. Let's stop this and learn. Let's stop this. And when you allow forgiveness to become a lifestyle, that's when you start allowing patience and peace and understanding and thinking out the box. Like, dang, something must be going on, or they're stupid but probably running late for work. They think they gonna still get on time doing 90. But you know what? Who cares? Let me just get out their way because I'm not in no rush and stuff like that. How do you feel about that? Like the journey of forgiveness altering your lifestyle and changing and thinking not about yourself but thinking about others.
So it definitely so I'm reading this particular book and they talk about a choice map and being on a learning path. And I think that forgiveness definitely puts you on a path for learning and exploration. I found that practicing forgiveness and being forgiving of others and of situations, it does open me up to being more curious, right, about what is going on or what has just happened or what may happen in the future with the situation. So for me, to be in this journey of forgiveness really is about allowing myself to be patient, allowing myself to slow down and see what is going on, right? Being forgiven has really put pause in my day, right? Because now I'm thinking about and kind of analyzing, even if it's just for 30 seconds, what just happened.
Reflecting.
Right. Whereas, in an unforgiving space, it's just screw that, you know what I mean? And you just, your heightened anxiety and everything becomes overwhelmed. And before you know it, right, you're in a situation with somebody and you don't even realize or know why you in that situation. You know what I mean? Somebody who was totally irrelevant to what threw you off, right? So I find that being forgiven really just helps everything. It helps me to find success in areas where it seemed difficult before.
That's good.
It seemed difficult, So, but like you said, it's a moment by moment.
It is.
Kind of thing. And it definitely I have to be aware. So I've had to start, lately I've started like doing more meditating and just kind of having that quiet time, doing more, trying to exercise and different things, being out in nature more and really noticing nature, hearing the birds and, watching, looking at different grass in my neighborhoods and different things. So it helps to put a pause on things, slow things down.
That's good. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed you today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This has been enjoyable.
You do.
I had a good time. I had a good time. Thank you for letting me come and speak to you and share my experience and my thoughts around, forgiveness and different things. So
you hit some powerful topics.
Thank you.
Especially with colorism. A lot of people, I don't hear a lot of people speak about colorism. I think they may be scared to speak about it.
I think it's one of those things that we I think a name kind of just got to it over recent years where people, started saying it's called colorism. I think, I think we just never really kind of looked at it. You know what I mean? And again, because I think that that looking at each other and aligning or judging ourselves or comparing ourselves to each other, I feel like it's so inbred in us that we don't think about what does that actually mean now.
Okay.
You know, for me to look at a light-skinned woman and be like, she thinks she like that. Maybe she doesn't. She could be more insecure than, you know what I mean, than anybody walking kind of thing, you know, or vice versa. So, yeah, I just think it's one of those things that we didn't necessarily put a name to years ago. But I think it's always existed, but just hasn't been at the forefront of conversation.
Okay. But that's so interesting. Everyone, thank y'all for watching. Also, just be aware. Be aware. Let's be aware because we need to start looking at the heart. We need to start looking at people for themselves, how they speak to you, how they move around you, how they embrace you. You know, let's stop looking at people color or what they look like, what they have on. Let's start looking at people how God look at us. You know, if we was in a place of financial drought and we can buy the best of things, do you think you want God to judge us and think I'm not a good person because of what I have on? Just let's start looking at people how God look at people, and you will really see trueness, true beauty in people. You know, not because what you say, oh, she light skinned, she thinks she like that. No, homegirl just has some genetics. She come from a line of fair skinned women.
She like that. It's nothing wrong with that either.
Basically, she
ain't nothing wrong with that either.
Because you have to have the confidence. Yeah. But let's not focus on that. Let's not project what's going on with you on someone else. You know, let's start working on this journey of forgiveness because it brings, like I said all the time, it brings unity. We are the world. I love we are the world, you know. We are the world. We can move in, you know, a good, healthy place. If you're on a road, let's think out the box. Maybe that person could be going to somewhere that's an emergency. Let's move out their way. If someone cut you off, let's give them grace. Maybe they didn't mean to, you know, maybe they learn how to drive with a go-kart cycle. You know what I'm saying? On a serious note, let's just help each other out because so we can move in unity, we can move in peacefulness. And if you start allowing forgiveness in your life and allowing this as a lifestyle, trust and believe, you'll start being around people just like you. And that means the whole world will be just like each other and we will be in one harmony. So thank you. Please start your journey of forgiveness because you will see the barriers, you will see the heart, the hurt that's going on inside of you broken, and it will start healing and you will see a new you because I am becoming a new me every day when I start working on this journey of forgiveness. How about you?
I agree. I'll just say, you know, the world is a kinder place when we learn to forgive. And I would say, start with yourself. Forgive yourself for any negative thoughts you perceived or believed. Forgive yourself for where you've been, where you thought you should be, and maybe even where you are. Mm-hmm. It's all good, right? Just keep trying. The journey of forgiveness is just that. It's a journey. So moment by moment, day by day. And get a sunflower.
And minute by minute, second by second, and get that sunflower. Talk to the sunflower. They got different faces.
Yes, they do.
All right, guys. Please don't forget to hit the like, share, and the subscribe button. We'll see you soon. Thank you.